Would you know? Okay, how's everybody doing this afternoon? If there's anybody that is actually, actually up or listening this afternoon. But if you notice in my intro today, I asked a question. I heard today. I heard uh, Dick Brubeck uh, on a show along with another guy talking about public Montgomery Public Schools, uh, the city of Montgomery actually having a um, city school system. Now, I have been here for 34 years. My two boys have been through Montgomery City School, and one of them actually had the privilege of going to a private school for 8 years. So, but his last 4 years, I thought, let him get some reality. Let him get some reality and go to public school. First of all, it's a crazy idea. Does anybody know how much it would cost in order to fund a city school? Secondarily, the reason why it is such a bad idea is because how many superintendents have we had in the last 34 years? I think we've had at least close to 10. Okay. Now, so many that I can't even remember their names, a few of them. And why have we had so many superintendents come to this city and leave? Well, one of the reasons why so many people have come here and left is because of a system that's not working. It doesn't work. Hasn't worked in a long time. Now, we can have a conversation on why it doesn't work, but there's no ambiguity about whether or not it actually works. It hasn't worked. It just hasn't. Um, we go superintendent after superintendent, and no matter what superintendent comes in, we end up with the same problems that we've had since I have been here since 1991. Now, my son started going to school, I think, in 1995, 96, somewhere around there. Emmanuel did. So I've even had people come up to me and say that, well, the word discipline is racist. Okay. So we know where her kids are probably are now. That's 20 something years later. We know where they probably are. Um, Discipline is the absolute essential ingredient for any phase of success in any job. If you want to be a basketball player, you have got to discipline yourself to do what needs to be done to be the best you can be. If you want to be a football player, which a lot of our kids do, they're willing to be disciplined to do whatever it is they must do in order to make the team. Somewhere along the line, somebody has told these kids that they're not on a team in the classroom. It's a different game, but the rules are the same. You must be disciplined by somebody in order to be successful in life. Okay. Now, let me tell you who's not to blame: the kids. Then they are not to blame at all. It is these so called educated bureaucrats who are to blame. Now, there are people who are getting really mad about the Department of Education being taken apart by the current executive in the White House. Well, I started school in 1960. Let's see, I was 157, 58, 59, 61, 62. So I started school in about 64 or 65. And I will tell you that there's no doubt that the schools today are a lot different than they were then. Again, you can't blame the kids. Kids do what kids do. They always have, they always will. There's just nothing that we can do about that. That's what kids do. They do what kids do. But there is a problem. There is a problem with our public school system, and it's grown people. It's people who have forgot how to lead and who have forgot the essential elements in any venture that you take, and it is discipline. When I want now, who's ever listening, I want you to hear this and hear me well. You will not hear any of our school board members, any educator in a public setting use the word discipline because somehow that's been taken to mean you talking about black kids. Well, you know what? When our public schools are predominantly black, we probably are talking about a few black kids, but this has got nothing to do with color. And again, this is this is the one thing we cannot blame kids for. This is the thing that has to be blamed on grown people, so-called leaders of our education system. Okay, so I'm listening to Dick Rubrick and everybody. Now it's every time something gets close to an election or something like that, then we want to bring up schools. We want to bring up schools. Okay, that's what we want to do. We want to bring them up, right? But nothing ever changes. Nothing ever changes because they are not willing to do what must be done in order to change a system. That's why no matter who comes, no matter who leaves, no matter who comes or leaves, it's the same outcome. And that outcome is that all we do is make it a little bit worse. A little bit worse. Do you guys know why we have to have slow kids in the same room with the smart kids? Not that it's a bad idea, but it does wreak havoc on the bell curve, not the bell curve, but on the curve, the grading curve. It does wreak havoc. But you know why we have to do that? Because of the federal education, the Department of Education in Washington D.C. See, in Washington D.C., they said, "Well, you can't put the slower kids in a place by themselves." No. So what we're going to do, we're going to slow everybody down and bore the absolute crap out of kids who are a whole lot smarter than some of you and me. And we slow them down. And when they get slowed down, they start to get in trouble because creative kids, gifted kids, have the same problem that kids who are not gifted have. They are one, we are trying to push one way beyond their potential, and the other, we're like a albatross around their neck, and they can't do what they can do. And so we came up with this great idea of magnet schools. Well, I'm trying to figure out. And then they had a GPA average in that magnet school. So most of the people there would be of comparable intellectual skills. Now, then we changed that. Well, we got to change the magnet school system too, because if we don't change the magnet school system, then we're going to be called racist again. Okay, well, we changed it. Is that helping us out? Nah. The GPA in the magnet school when I got here, I think it was 3.5, 3.6. So what we did was we took the GPA down to I think 2.5. So 2.5 means you're as close to the ground as you are to the sky. Okay, and that's what that means. So does Montgomery, and here's another thing. Again, it is not the kid's fault. Somewhere along the line, we decided to make excuses for kids not doing best they can, as opposed to pushing them to be more than they think they can. Somewhere along the line, we said, well, give them an excuse. Well, I got to tell you something. I'll say this again. That prison in Elmore County, which holds 4,200 beds, that is 4,200 beds. And if we don't want the preponderance of inhabitants of that system that the government came up with and everybody, and they're making $1 billion prison. If we don't want the preponderance of people in those prisons to be black children, we better raise the standard because we're the only country in America, in the world right now, that's lowering the standards when it comes to education. Everybody else is raising it. They're raising things. We are slowing people down. We have to stop what we're doing and undo this thing. But getting a school system in the city of Montgomery does not help this problem at all. Not even a little bit. Okay. Because if you expect more, you'll get more if you expect more out of our kids. And I've been a kid too. I've been in school, a couple of them, as a matter of fact. So I know I may not be a teacher, but I know what it takes to teach. And we got to stop making these excuses for the failure that we are doing to our kids. The kids are not doing it to themselves. We are. We are failing the kids. It's not the kids that are failing. Most of these kids, Benjamin Elijah May said, if you reach for the stars, the worst you'll do is fall amongst the moon. And if you fall on the moon, at least you're higher than you were. So we have got to stop this taking the standards down and stop teaching. And one of the things, since we're just going to get into it, let's just get on to it. One of the things why we can't seem to get education together because we spend too much time trying to redefine anatomy. We're trying to redefine gender. God already took care of that one. It's called male and female. But we actually have schools that are helping our kids confuse them. Now, not necessarily in Montgomery, Alabama, but I've heard some things, but I'm not exactly sure about it. So if we spend less time trying to convince a kid that you think you're a girl, but you're really a guy, or you think you're a guy, but you're really a girl, we could spend a lot more time using logic and reason. And is there anybody out there? Is there anybody out there? Is there any school, even in the magnet programs, that teach logic and reason? I don't believe there is. I don't believe we teach that. Obviously, we don't. If we have to teach kids about the difference between females and males, and we actually take biology up in some of our schools, then something's wrong with us. And again, let me say this emphatically: this is not the kids' fault. It's a bunch of grown people's fault. It's a bunch of gobbledygook that they get in some of these colleges. Okay, I mean, think about this. When you go on some college campuses now, if somebody shows up that happens to be conservative, they give them a safe room. They get a safe room. you you're in college and you become physically and emotionally disabled because somebody is saying something that you don't agree with. Rather than engage them in conversation, you get to go to a safe room. Okay. Okay. And in colleges and universities. And these are supposed to be the warriors of the next generation to make sure this nation still stands. I think we're in trouble in that area right there. I think we're in trouble in that area. Right there. I think we I think we're in some serious trouble when it comes to that. We we the warrior thing is not working out for us right now. God bless the United States Marine Corps, Army Rangers, Airborne 82nd. God bless those guys because they're the few warriors that we have to protect this country. And I'm glad that the president said, you know what? No, if you don't know whether or not you're a man or a woman, you certainly won't know who the enemy is. So we're just going to let you go back home and in your neighborhood and let you confuse yourself. I'm good with that. You got a right to be whatever you have a right to think you are whatever you are. But is there anybody out there that would take any school system seriously if in fact we had to give them a safe room because somebody said something they didn't like. Is there anybody out there that would take that school system seriously? And anybody who thinks that discipline is racist? Is there anybody out there that would take that school system seriously? And here's one question I always ask people. Well, I'm making 60, $70,000 a month, a year. So I'm doing pretty good. But man, I got to send my kids to private school, which runs about. Let's see, what does that run about? Let me see what that runs. Some. I got a friend. His is $1,500 a month. Okay, so I don't know what is that a year? Oh, let me see if I can see my thing here. Okay, CAL. I got this right here. So we got this. Okay, okay, okay. So $1,500 times 12 equals. Some of these people are spending $18,000 a year to send their kids to school, not because they don't want to go to public school. It's because they think they're not getting their money's worth. So now let me ask you a question. $18,000, you could buy your kid a car when they graduated high school or for cash. So is there anybody out there that actually believes that people want to pay that additional money after paying for public schools also? Everybody who owns a house, everybody who's paid taxes pays for public school. So why would I spend an additional $18,000 a year? And it's not about color. Okay, it's about culture, not color. But why do you believe if these people who send their kids to the private schools, you don't think if they could get the same education from Montgomery's public school system, they could save that $18,000 one year of going to public school, of going to private school. They could save that money, and when that kid graduates, we give him one big time party from high school and a brand new car. So for those people who think that people are taking their kids out of school because the schools are predominantly black, and I have to tell you, I think there are a whole lot of black folks I've talked to who would get the hell out of public schools too if they could figure out how to do it. They would just get out of them because the standards have been lowered to the floor. Okay, and every once in a while, Mackey and those guys downtown will lower the ceiling and raise the floor and give you the illusion that you are doing better than you are. It's an illusion. So, again, a city school system won't change anything. As a matter of fact, we'll probably hurry up and populate that 4,200 seat bed prison they got in Elmore County. Because, and I've always asked this question, there used to be something called Black excellence. We did the best we could with what we have. And my mother said, if you got one pair of pants, you clean that pair of pants, you iron that pair of pants until they fall apart, but you don't leave my house looking like a bum. Now we got kids who actually show up looking like a bum in school. And some people say I'm not for a school. Yeah, I'm not either. We haven't done a good job with the one we have. Okay. We haven't done a good job with the one we have. Now, if you want to call us, you can. It's a show you can actually call in 521-2963. I think I got this thing working today. It was working yesterday, so we'll see how that works out. But yeah, we'll let you get a thing. And again, I'm going to invite the mayor to listen to the things you guys have to say on a radio show. It's difficult to get the words in because I know because you don't have a whole lot of time. But again, I want to know out there anybody listening by ear or Facebook or YouTube or wherever, anybody listening who thinks that Montgomery is capable of running a city school system, given that we will be working under the same rules that the county school system is working under now, and the same state of Alabama rules that we're working under now. So, what is going to be the big difference? If anything, it will be worse. Okay, so I'm just trying to figure out who's going to make it better. What's going to make a city school system better? I've been here for 34 years, almost 35 years now, and I hear all the excuses. I hear all the new superintendents. I'm hoping that the new superintendent that comes in, we're gonna see if we get him to talk to him one night. I'm hoping that the new superintendent that comes in can, you know, uh, change a couple of things. But I don't believe so. I don't believe so. And one other reason, women, please forgive me for this one. Okay, please. I don't mean any harm. I really don't. But an all woman school board is not a good thing. We love you. Yeah, cook them grits, make them kids mine. But men need to control boys. We do. But again, I appreciate what you guys do because I mean they need some loving every once in a while too. Hug or two, that's fine. But an all woman school board and their job is to nurture. A woman's natural instinct is to nurture, where a man's natural instinct is to fight, is to be a warrior. At least it used to be that way anyway. I don't know what it is now. So somebody tell me where are we going what are we going to do about this? There are a lot of schools, and if you go to al.com, if you go to put in a search on al.com or Google, say what name the schools in Alabama that are failing. hmm And you're going to notice something. You're going to notice something that is going to be depressing. But just go to Google and type in all the schools in Alabama that are failing, and the preponderance of those schools have but one thing in common. Hey, I'm not going to say what it is. Y'all look them up for yourself, and then you will see what the preponderance. I felt good being challenged. Or I do. I feel good being challenged because two things going to happen. One, it's going to show me that I'm right at the place I need to be. Or two, it's going to take me to a place where I ought to be. But something so I don't mind being and our kids and okay, I'm going to tell you guys something that I'm going to tell you guys something that okay, I'm going to tell you guys something that I know it may shock some people, and I don't I don't want to I don't want to do this to you, but I'm just saying I got to tell you this. 2 weeks ago, I was looking at some information, and we got to talking about the melanin in black people's skin, and scientifically, it has been proven that the melanin in black folks' skin, look it up, makes us a little bit more intelligent than the average bear in the world. Yeah, a little bit more. I don't know what I don't know what the thing is and all that stuff, but it makes black children and black folks a little bit more intelligent than the average bear in the world. Those without melanin in their skin. So is this a? I mean, is this a? I mean, is this a conspiracy? Let me see if I can find that article right here. And then I'm gonna show you. I'll tell you guys. I'm not shooting you. I'm not shooting you the bird. I'm telling you the truth. So naturally, when I saw this, I said, "Well, why is it that so many of our kids are not in school? Are they not doing good in school? Or all the schools, the large preponderance of schools in Alabama are mostly populated by blacks and Hispanics. Why is that? I mean, obviously, we're not dumb people. We've done some of the greatest inventions since the history of mankind. And some of them were, stolen. That's true. But we can't undo what happened. We can't undo what happened. It happened. Now it's time to get off the ground, shake the boots off, and let's do something about it. If we had the potential then obviously we have the potential now. We weren't always football players and basketball players. We weren't always playing some game. Some of these kids are absolutely geniuses, but we really stifle their abilities by not not expecting more out of them. I got two boys. I'm not telling you that this is something I'm thinking about. They could have got out of the way, but they didn't. Okay, so you'll get more if you expect more. You really will. So somebody tell me, can the mayor of the city of Montgomery guarantee doggone to you that we'll have the best test scores of any city in the country? Can he guarantee that the expulsion rate? Can he guarantee that the standard will be raised? And that's why I didn't mind Trump getting rid of the Department of Education, because it is because of that Department of Education is why we have people mixed in with people who could probably find a cure for cancer if we allow them the freedom and allow them the ability to use that gray matter they have in their head. But we don't, because we don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. Hey, let's listen. George is just not as smart as Jerry. There's nothing wrong with that. I was Jerry back in the day. I was okay. I knew that I would. I knew what my gifts were, and it wasn't being the valedictorian or the salutatorian at our graduation. I knew where I was. I knew what I was good at. Now, as I got older, I got smarter. I'm almost brilliant now. But other than that, it's a city school system. Since he's going to become under the same rules that the state does and the county does, unless we're going to be able to make our own rules for our own school system, which we know that's not going to happen. In order to be certified by what's that group? They got a group or something that certifies the schools and the magnet schools and the charter schools and things of that nature. Okay, I hate this, ladies and gentlemen. I hate to tell you this. I hate to tell some of y'all this, but the problem with our kids is us, that new generation, the ones who don't want to work them too hard, the ones who don't want them to be bullied in school like we done stop bullying. Listen, does anybody out there know what the best response to a bully is in school? Hadn't changed in the last 150 years. Hadn't changed at all. Does anybody know? Do you know what the actual best response to a bully is? And listen, you can call me. I just give me a combo check and make sure my thing is working, because I'm trying to 334-521-2963, or you can text me on my phone. It's at the end. It's at the end of the thing right down there. If you want to do that, we can do that. Because does anybody know what the best solution for a bully is? See, we didn't have all this bullying the way we're going until we told people that they couldn't use this solution. So anybody, and I only got a few minutes left, I'll be done. but does anybody know what the best solution to a bully is? It's been the same way since Daniel Boone and since David Crockett, since the Alamo. Hadn't changed. It's the same solution. Okay. But no, what is public school solution now? Okay. Kid comes in the classroom, knocks the crap out of your child, and if your child fights back, they're gonna suspend both of them. Who came up with that idea? Seriously, who came up with that idea? Some idiot came up with that idea. Because I hate to bring it up now, since this is going on Memorial Day, but in 911, when those people came over and socked us in the eye, killed 3,000 people the same day. About the same amount of people were killed on December the 6th, 1941 at Pearl Harbor. And if you ever go to Pearl Harbor, you'll notice a very solemn place, like this place would be now too. But we didn't sit down and says, "Oh, well, don't, we forgive you. Don't do that again." No, we sent about 5,000 to 6,000 people to serve this country and give their life because we said we're going to fight back. So if the country can fight back, I'll be doggone if I'm gonna tell my child he got to sit in school and take a butt whooping. Okay, we ain't doing that. Now, who should get expelled? The person that started it. And if you cannot figure who started, then you do in school suspension. But you don't let somebody off. So I'm just saying, stop telling kids that if they defend themselves like we did as a nation for 20 years with our blood of our young men and women across this world because we fought back. So please, can we get rid of some of these stupid rules in school? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Jerry. I know you didn't start it, but we got to send you home too. Well, if I'm going home, I ain't coming back. I'm not coming back. Ain't no sense coming back. He's just gonna be whooping on me again. At least trying to. Anyway. But anyway, so nobody knows what the okay. We had this thing in the backyard back in the day that we took care of bullies with. Yeah, it's called a yard biscuit. Mm-hmm. That's what it's called, a yard biscuit. Yes. Anyway, uh, so the whole thing today is a city school system. What is going to be the difference? I will tell you, it will probably be worse. Not because the teachers are worth no, but because the system is rigged. This our education system, to me, it seems like it's twofold. One, to keep the prisons full, and two, to keep Wall Street full too. And I sound like a Democrat, but hey, what can I tell you? I'm not, but I sound like one at the moment. It is about excellence. It is about being the best you can be under the most toughest, worst circumstances in your life and being the best you can be and still stand strong. When you fall down, you don't get strong by laying there. When you fall down, you get strong by keep getting up. So our counsel should be to our children in school, keep getting up. Keep getting up. Don't just lay there. Even in the good book, it says, faith without works is dead. So just sit there and wait on God. God said, you need to do something to show that you deserve this grace and mercy. Okay, you need, you can't look for a job and don't get out of your seat. Let's stop trying to teach our kids to go the easy way. Somebody once said, if you do what's hard first, later what comes will be easy. But we're trying to do it backwards, and we're trying to do it back. We're telling our kid, well, you don't have to work hard now. Just wait till you get to college. You won't get to college. And if you get there, you won't make it in. You won't make it through it. Do what's hard first. And then what comes later will be easy. Okay, that's all I'm telling. So anyway, so that's my thing. So now, if there's anybody out there that believe that we need you know, that we need a city school system, then I don't think we do. We need to do what's best with the systems that we have rather than always going to something. It's kind of like that old office we had, the Office of Violence Prevention, didn't prevent jack, didn't prevent anything. Because people don't fear law. They don't fear lots of things because there's no discipline. All we need to make school better in the state of Alabama, in the county of Montgomery, in Jefferson County, in Shelby County, in Connecticut County, in Baldwin County, Lowndes County, all we need to make the schools better is discipline and the pursuit of academic excellence. Okay. And somebody once said, again, even if everybody can't work at the same level, they are still going to be a whole lot better then than they are now. Okay. So that was my conversation for tonight. Now, if you guys disagree with me, leave me some messages or text a brother, whatever the case may be. Uh, but that's all I wanted to say today because I heard them talking about a school system, a city school system today. Like that is going to be the panacea. It is going to change everything. Well, I'm telling you, after 34, 35 years in this city, half my life has been spent in Montgomery, Alabama. And I have to tell you, when it comes to, I like everything here except the education system. I like everything else. I like the people, good folks here. I mean, you got bad folks and good folks every place. I like the weather. I like, yeah, genuinely, you meet some genuine people in this city and in this state that are the salt of the earth, black and white, salt of the earth. So I'm just saying that. But education is the only thing I've complained about consistently, and it has been the only thing that has been complained about for every mayor. I got here when Emmy Farmer was mayor, then there was Bobby Bright, then there was Todd Strange, and now we have my good friend Stephen Reed. And the reason why nothing really changes because we don't change anything. We don't change anything. And somebody once said that I'll let you guys go. The definition of insanity is to do what you have always done. And then you don't understand why you keep getting what you've always gotten. That is the definition of insanity. It is time to do something different in the education system. Because I don't know how many people, black and white, who would love to save $18,000 a year. If they're paying $1,500 a month, they're paying $18,000 a year to send their kids to a school, and they are still paying for Montgomery Public School. Now, how many people would you know? You could actually pay all your kids in high school. If you got four of them, you can buy them a new car every year for $18,000. Okay, maybe not that year. Yeah, you can. You can get an $18,000 car someplace. Somebody got one. Okay, so again, nobody wants to pay all that money. They can go on a vacation if they want to. Some people work and work and work and work and work, and they never get to go anyplace with their money. And by the time they do get a chance to spend some of that money they were paying for private school, they're so old and beat up. Some of them, not all of them, of course. But I'm just saying, let's use logic and reason. Okay, logic and reason. I'm saying one more time: logic and reason. Oh, and here's one that's missing: common sense. Common sense. We don't need a city school system. What we need is somebody to mandate discipline in the one we already have. And excellence. Okay. Stop being sissifying our young men and young boys. Let them go for PT. Let them do PT in the afternoons. Let them get rid of some of that energy because you are boring them to death, literally. You are boring them to death, literally. If not now, too early. Okay, because they'll end up out there in a prison, and we thought they were bad kids, and they haven't been. They just have never been challenged. Challenge is what we need for our kids, not less challenge, but more. But anyway, I guess that's going to be the end of my thing this afternoon. I just thought I would, share that with you guys today. Now, if anybody disagrees with me, please listen to this, share it with your friends, and if you disagree with me, please, I'm going to do my show on Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesday, starting next week, around this time, about 7 o'clock in the afternoon, somewhere around there. And then so you guys can stay tuned if you want to. If you don't, if I bore you to tears, I understand. But somebody has to tell the truth. I'm not politically correct. I'm neither Democrat nor Republican. But if somebody asked me if I had to vote for one, I'd vote for the Republicans. You know why? Because they keep their promise. They don't promise anything. Democrats been promising black folks a leader, a glass of tea and some Kool-Aid, and we still waiting for the sugar. so, so hey, what can I tell you? Anyway, my time's up. I thank you for yours. And wait a minute, somebody call me see if my number's working. Please, just call the phone, and I need to know if my phone is working. I ain't gonna answer it. I just want to make sure it's working. 521-2963. Because this has got to be like the radio show, except you get some audio. So somebody call me. Just let me see if it's working. Okay, please. Okay, let me see. Hold on. Oh, never mind. I call my own number. Let me see here now. Let me see. Just make sure that number is working. $18,000 a year. That's what people are paying for to get, and they're paying for public schools at the same time. Boy, something's wrong with that. Something's wrong with that picture. Okay, now let me see if I get this right. Okay, 334 521 2963 29 2963. I just want to make sure my phone is working here. Told you. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, it's working. It's all good. All right. Let me see if I can talk to myself. Hello. Uh, okay. How you doing? Okay, so the phone's working. All right, good. Okay. Okay, I guess my thing is working. Anyway, I gotta go, guys. It's time to cogitate on the next on subject in the coming future. Okay. Anybody want anything else before I go? Guess not. All right then. And this will be on YouTube and it'll be on uh, Twitch as well as Facebook later on tonight. If you guys want to care to, if you guys care to listen in. And please leave comments. If you think I'm 100% wrong, please say that. If you think I'm right, say that. If you all still confused, well, just say that too. Okay. So have a great night, everybody. I gotta go watch Mission Impossible. Do, 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 do. Okay, never mind. Don't worry about that. I'm good. All right then. Well, hello, baby Lee. Okay. Hello, Horace, and hello to myself. We'll see you.